Many thanks for keeping a date with us on the program Politics Today on Independent Television and Radio with your host to the most, Sonny Duke Okosun. Without wasting time, we'll be bringing you up to speed with the happenings in the Osun 2022 governorship election. We'll also be looking at the debate on the running mates for presidential candidates in the build-up to the 2023 election. Of course, we know that one major talking point, a thorny issue at that, is the APC's decision to pick a running mate who is also a Muslim. That brings a Muslim ticket to the front burner. Let me quickly welcome our panelist. John Yakubu is a politician. He's also a public affairs commentator. John, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Good morning, viewers.
Pastor Phil Aroje is a pastor, as I've introduced, and always a regular here on the show, giving us some very, very valid, in-depth analysis on some of these issues. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
We also have Godson Terunse, who is a public affairs commentator, also a civil society activist. Thank you for joining us on the program.
It's my pleasure. Good morning, viewers.
Okay, now the feelings we're getting from Osun State gives some very cheering news that there's a massive turnout in some of the voting centers. A lot of people are coming out to cast their vote. Some of the candidates have already done that as at 9 o'clock this morning. That's really, really cheering. But in the build-up to the election, as is always the case, strong and very serious mobilization on the part of security agencies, talking about the police and CDC and all the likes, as well as INEC. But as is always the case, as the election progresses, we definitely will hear more to come. But interestingly, we saw the outcome of the Ekiti State election, even though that's been contested. Some have also said that, well, they are looking at how the Osun State election will pan out ultimately. So, gentlemen, let's start from there. John, what are your perspectives on some of the feedback we're getting from the Osun State governorship election?
Well, one of the best things we got this morning, like you rightly mentioned at the beginning of this program, is the level of turnout. Because when you sit on the fence or you sit at home, and at the end of the day that you're not voting, indirectly you are voted. Because at the end of the day, when the government is not behaving well and it's not doing what the people expected the government to do, you are part of it. But what we have enjoyed this morning, or what we're seeing in Osun, is that a lot of persons have turned out, which definitely means that at the end of the day, majority, though that is the usual thing for us to do, a lot of persons in that state would have voted. At the end of that today's election, it will not be right to say a lot sat at home because of the mobilization that we're seeing in Osun. And we believe that the right person will win today's election, devoid of rigging, devoid of vote buying, devoid of political intimidation, devoid of all sorts of harassment that will probably intimidate the people to do the right thing. Now that a lot of persons are there, and I can assure you, Sonny Duke, it will be difficult for even you, seeing over 100 and 200 persons in the field voting, it will even be difficult for you to carry out any form of intimidation because they are there to exercise their franchise and they're there to vote, and at the end of the day, they will vote for their choice.
All right. Phil, you want to toe the line of John Yakubu on some of the feelers we're getting from Osun State election, or it's just too early?
No, it's not too early. What I'm expecting, based on hindsight of the election that took place 4 years ago, is going to be a very close call, because you remember that the last election that brought in the incumbent governor, they have to do a runoff, and it took Omishore, who was the SDP candidate there, to step down for the APC to win that election. So I expect a very close and tough contest this morning in Osun State. But my own plea to the politicians is we should stop buying of votes like it was alleged happened in the Ekiti State last month. Let the one who is voted for genuinely by the people, let him be the one to lead. Otherwise, you may be there as an illegitimate leader. Yes, who bought your way there. Who bought your way. Let the people vote, and let the people vote of the people count. I'm sure if INEC is able to improve on what they did in Ekiti last month, in 24 hours, we should have the results like they did in Ekiti. It shouldn't be a result that we have to wait again and again for 2-3 days. Let's have it as soon as possible. and then we can move on to the 2023 general election.
Okay, Osage, I mean, you're a young man, and we saw in Ekiti State young people taking selfies with the wads of cash that they got from the election, displaying it on social media. Is that impossible again in Osun State election?
No, I wouldn't say it's impossible because we have not been able to take a very strong stand as a nation against that. It's a terrible practice, and basically that was my fear, or that still remains my fear, because the election just started.
Yeah.
So about the Osun election, we hope that before the general election, 2023 general election, something really drastic would have been done about that. We expect to see stiff penalty, very strict rules against vote buying. Vote buying is crippling the integrity of our electoral processes. At the end of the day, people give whosoever emerged the winner as the person that had the highest bidder, so to speak, the person with the money bag, and that is sad and that is unacceptable. But mind you, Duke, there's a revolution going on already. You know, I just came from Abuja and I was telling some young people, you see, what we are going to experience, beginning from this Osun election to the general election, is the Pools revolution. It's going to be harmless. Nobody's going to take up harm or anything. But people are getting wiser every day. We are beginning to see situations where people even take your money and still go vote for their choice, because there's a school of thought that believes that it's our money. If they share it, take it. You know, but be that as it may, why we cannot give credit to vote buying for whatever reason, I want to praise the people, the youth, the young people of Osun State for coming out en masse, because the Osun election is just a ray of light to what we are likely going to see in the next year presidential election.
So why didn't we see that ray of light in the Ekiti State election? I mean, it's in the same axis of the country, the same region in the country.
That's the reason why we say we need stiff penalty against vote buying. See, you know, the only language you must understand, if there are no laws, men will become like animals. What I mean is, people will do whatever they want to do and get away with it. I still have my fears about vote buying in this election. You know, but the point is, we have the appropriate authority that is supposed to do justice to enforce strict penalty against such when it happens. But more often than not, what we see is people turning their eyes when these things are going on. I mean, the authority that ought to penalize these individuals. And mind you, the reason why we also see that in our current elections is because, for two reasons: there's high level of poverty, and also a lot of our people are still not aware. I mean, people have not been able to come to terms with the reality, especially those in the rural area, to know the implication of sending your vote and how it goes a long way to affect you. I've met some few folks that tells you, let me just take what I have to take, because whether they win or not,
I'm not getting anything at the end of the day.
So this is my time to take mine.
All right.
So it's an awareness problem.
All right. I've heard people say this is a straight fight between the APC and the PDP again. John, you subscribe to this, talking about the Osun election.
Well, it's a straight fight between the PDP and the APC. I completely agree with that school of thought. Not because the other political parties are not coming up. Like I said at the beginning, the awareness is just building up. But you see, in advanced democracy, where you have over 150 years democratic parties. Let's take, for example, the United States of America. You have two dominant parties. It's always like that. Even in advanced democracy, you have two dominant parties, one struggling to take government from the other. So it is between these two governments that even when, don't forget, this was why Babangida in his wisdom at that time believed that for us to have a kind of stable democracy, let's have a two-party system. And he beat offices for them across the 36 states of the Federation, and it took up. But unfortunately, that same system was hijacked and destroyed by the same military. But what we're saying here today is that, yes, you might have a third force coming up. It's just, there's a build-up, there's a revolution. You don't need to deny that or speak against that. But how far that can go depends on the mobilization on the part of the people behind that force. As we speak today in Ekiti, in Osun State, The fight in Osun State today is strictly between the APC in government and the PDP, the strong PDP, the opposition party. And at the end of today's election, either of these two will win the governorship election. I'm not in any way in doubt whether any of these two will emerge the winner. Yes, we have the third force coming up, the Labour Party, but I'm not sure they've done enough to the point of winning the governorship election in Osun.
Okay.
So that is my
all right, Pastor Phil, yeah, this street fight, PDP, APC, as usual.
No, that's the way it's going to be. In fact, yesterday, the PRP National Secretariat withdrew from the election because, according to them, their candidate didn't do enough. Their candidate didn't campaign enough. He didn't show enough interest. So that's to let you know that some of the candidates that are there are just there maybe to enhance or enrich their CV. In 4 years ago, it was a straight fight between PDP and APC. Then SDP, that had the former Deputy Governor Omishore, who is now the current secretary of APC, was there. He had to actually defer to APC. And the place where they had that runoff, I think it was in his own domain, he stood no chance of winning, even if they gave him all the vote. So he went to APC, and the election, I think the margin was less than 1,000 votes or thereabout, 300 votes or so. So it's between PDP. The Senator Adeleke has shown to be a very strong force. And now the people have the basis to assess the incumbent governor. He had been in the office for 3.5 years. So they can assess his performance based on what they give to him. If he had done well, they will give him more votes to become to continue as a governor for a second term. Okay. If he has not done well, with the forces that the Adelekes have, of course it may go the way of PDP, but it's just between APC and PDP.
All right,
Labour Party, not for now.
That brings me to Augustine de Ronse. I mean, with all the talked about, hyped revolution going on, would it be out of place for us to be feeling the impact of those revolution? Maybe we should have felt it in Ekiti State, and then maybe feel it more in Osun State as the election is going. I mean, looking at all the analysis that has been building up in the last couple of days, that doesn't suggest some form of revolution going on.
Well, revolution is a build-up. It doesn't happen automatically.
Yeah.
You see, if you see what has been happening in Nigeria over time, though the situation presently is so bad, it's choking, but you will discover that something is already building up. Even those that are the political elite, they are already coming to terms with the fact that it's not going to be, game as usual. Just take, for instance, for the first time, you will notice that beyond the two major political parties, Obi, the Labour Party presidential candidate, is already being reckoned with as a major force. You see, just in the last campaign, the presidential flag bearer for the APC was, making statements as regarding, Labour Party for Laborers. That may be derogatory, but it is also significant to show that they are now recognizing that there is really a force upcoming. Otherwise, prior to this time, it would have been the two major parties, the opponent, PDP, so to speak.
Okay.
So something is happening. It's not going to be automatic.
Okay.
It's not as if the Labour is going to come up and win, but there is going to be an increase of margin in terms of votes compared to what they used to have
in the past.
In the past.
All right, let me proceed there. Thank you. It's still Politics Today on independent television and radio. Let's just scale up a little bit on our conversation today. As usual, our studio line will be open so you can call and be part of the discussion. That will be in the last quarter of the show. But let's look at a major burning issue which has taken its toll on the national discourse. I mean, reactions trailing it left, right, back, center. The PDP conducted its primaries and brought forth a Christian as its running mate. But on the part of the APC, after its primaries, conversations here and there, consultations here and there, they also came up with their own running mate, but this time it became a Muslim. So they have a Muslim ticket. That has been a major talking point in the last couple of days. John Yakubu, you are very savvy, grounded and rooted in politics. Is this a disservice? I don't want you to talk as a politician. I want you to talk as a Nigerian. Is this a disservice against the background of the reaction that is taking place? The election has not even been conducted. These reactions, are they even necessary in the first place? Yeah.
Sonny, I am sure I'm not the best person to answer that question. Not because I don't have an answer, but because of the situation I find myself. And I'm good.
Please go on.
Because I find myself. Because I'm a PDP stalwart and a bigger political party.
Yes.
It is sad for us, for the nation, to be discussing the Muslim ticket of APC. We should leave that to the APC members. If today the Christians in APC are not capable, they don't have the capacity, they are not intelligent enough to be part of the ticket, it will be left to APC. Like I heard Adam said recently that, oh, the Christian-Muslim ticket had not done anything good for the nation. If he is saying that, he should be saying that for his own political party. He should be saying that in APC. And it's sad that a man of his caliber should begin to speak in that direction. You see, what they have done, what APC have done, is to try to take our mind off the issues on ground. That's what they've done. I am not ready to be part of that discussion of Christian Muslim within the APC fold. I'm ready to be part of the discussion of how to rescue this nation from this set of people who took over the leadership about 7 years ago and have taken us back 25 years backward. I'm only ready to begin to discuss issues with this set of APC members and begin to ask questions. When you came on board, you said fuel subsidy was a scam. Honestly, it was a big quote by the presidential candidate, now who the president. He said it was a scam. Today, we have more scam in our hand as a result of that fuel subsidy. We subsidized fuel when Jonathan was president with the fund and available to this nation. Today, we are borrowing, we are borrowing trillions to subsidize the same fuel that you said was a scam. So I want to appeal to the nation. I want to appeal to the people of this country. We should allow APC members to begin to analyze, to begin to talk about their Muslim ticket. It is left for the Christians in APC to decide whether they are capable or they are not capable. If that's an insult, I don't want to begin to, like I said,
take it personal. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
Because if I were to be a member of APC, like Boala said, you saw what Boala did. He said, look, for me, I'm going to resign from this party. Because if you are telling me when they interviewed Bola Tinubu and said, oh, we didn't base our selection on religion or ethnicity. We base our selection on capacity, the ability to deliver. Then if you don't have Christians in APC, who you mean they are all incapacitated in terms of working for the party, and you are still there as a member and you remain there and this is thrown on your face, I wish them well.
Okay.
But as a PDP member, as a PDP strong member, what we are saying is that join us to rescue this nation from the hands of these people who for over 8 years, look, the president is saying, allow me to go, I'm tired. We will allow him to go, we just have 10 months left. But honestly speaking, it would have been better if they had allowed us to remain where we are, where we were 15 years ago. Sonny Duke, today, if we were still buying fuel for 87 naira, I'm sure we would have been happier. If diesel had remained for 200 naira at the time Jonathan left, as against the 850 naira we are paying for today, we would have been happier. If we have more electricity, it was 5,000 megawatts that we had. But today it's not drizzling between 1,500 to 2,500. If we have remained there today, Nigerians would have been happier. If a cup of rice or a bag of rice that cost between 8,000 and 9,000 naira in 2015 that is now selling for 30,000 naira, I want to appeal to the APC members. We will not be part of this discussion of saying whether it is most. If they like, let them go and bring two Shango priests as their presidential candidate. They are religious people. They are part of the system. They are part of the natives. If they like, let them go and bring two Oromin priests and say, oh, this is our presidential candidate and this is our vice presidential candidate. We don't care about that. What Nigeria care about now is how they will improve on the living standard of the people of this country. But let me tell you, like the former the former GM said, look, if we are saying that you don't have capable Christians in APC, I'm not quoting, this is not me, this is a former GM, a member.
Babachela was said,
a member of the APC.
Yeah.
If you are saying you don't have capable hands, Christians, which is an insult to the Christian community in APC, to be nominated as the vice presidential candidate, then forget about our poll. I will only take that from APC member, not me and you. I'm not an APC member.
All right, thank you.
It will be sad for me to be discussing
Thank you.
that in APC.
Reverend Phil, let's get your take on this. Just like I told John, let's look at these issues dispassionately. Yeah.
Thank you very much. First, let me give Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the APC members some options of at least 6 names. I begin with the governor of Plateau State, who's been governor now for almost 8 years. He's capable to be the VP. The former SGF that he mentioned, Obache Lawa, is a Christian from Adamawa State. The incumbent SGF, Boss Mustafa, is a Christian, born-again Christian, a member of a family worship center in Abuja. I think he's also from Adamawa State. We have the former Speaker of the House of Rep, Yakubu Dogara. He's from Bauchi State. We have a lady senator, Binta something, from Adamawa State. We have Dane Bwala from the same Borno State where this man is from. I don't think Christians should worry too much about this, especially Southern Christians. We should know that APC is not an arm of CAN. For politicians, it's about the next election and personal interests, what they are going to gain and what they are going to get. So they are looking for how to win an election. So whatever strategy they adopt to win an election is up to them. Nigerians should not be crying about that. PDP should not have it as a headache. Neither should Labour Party should have it as a headache. That is what, because power is not given, power is taken. And you have to strategize to say you can get the power. And APC, in their wisdom, has strategized and seen that the only way we can get power is to go bring in Shetima, who has very serious question mark over his life concerning the role. Because in the build-up and in the heat of the Boko Haram insurgency in Borno State, he's been in government. He was commissioner for almost 6 years or 5 years before he became governor, under the former governor, who under him, this Boko Haram tribe and all the rest. So the thing, he has a very big moral question to answer about the funding and the activity, and especially to the statement he made directly concerning Boko Haram against the former president. He has that one to answer. Nigerians will deal with that one at the end. Now, it is not for us, me as the chairman of the youth wing of CAN in Edo State and PFN, to be crying. No. Christians have 2 options, or we have 3. We have NMPP that has taken Bishop Isaac Idahosa. And for the information, I need to clear that Bishop Isaac Idahosa is not related to Archbishop Benson Idahosa in any way. Because what they were promoting here is a Bishop Isaac from Edo State. Has nothing to do with our father in faith, Benson Idahosa. It is not the same Idahosa.
But it's also a political strategy.
Yes, I know. So we need to clear it. And we as leaders in the Christian body in this state should be able to clear it.
Absolutely.
They are not related at all. Not related at all. Then we have that's Muslim Christian. We have the PDP. Atiku, a Muslim, Fulani Muslim, and then Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa from Delta State here is an Anglican. It's an Anglican. That's another option for the church. If you don't like those options, we have a Christian Muslim ticket. That's the option of Labour Party. So instead of Christians in the north, my colleagues, the youth wing of CAN in the 19 northern state issued a statement. I have the statement they sent to me. No issue. Instead of us fighting APC and all the rest as if they have won the election, they have not won the election. Well, let's us team up and take this other option. The people who are trying to tell us today that religion doesn't matter were the ones who went to court to say that people should wear hijab to school. They say no, religion doesn't matter. They are the ones that will not allow Christians. For your information, there are of the over 20 ministers from the northern part of this country, only 2 Christians, federal ministers. I say religion doesn't matter. Of all the service chiefs, I don't think there's a Christian service chief from the north who is there. And you say religion doesn't matter. With the number of Christians, over 900 Christians have been killed in 2022 alone, both from the north and the south. You say religion doesn't matter. Reverend fathers and priests are being kidnapped, not by Christians, but by people who are Muslims. And you say religion doesn't matter? What are you telling me? So Christians should stop dissipating their energy. leave APC, that is their strategy to win election. Because it's about interest. No matter what you say, let me tell you this. 3.5 years ago, Khan went for a national election where the incumbent Khan chairman was re-elected. 3 years ago, almost 3 years. His tenure was soon expired, where he was re-elected. There was a meeting before the election. And we decided where we should go. In that meeting, I was privileged to be there because I don't vote at the national level, I vote at the youth level. Somebody said, sir, you have told us what to do. But when we get to the polls tomorrow, we'll know what to do. They didn't vote as we're directed, but they voted as per tribe. No matter what we say here, there are bishops and archbishops and leaders of Christian in the southern part of Nigeria who have personal interests with the presidential candidate, and they'll go with him.
Yeah.
They'll go with it. There's nothing you will say.
I mean, the first person who made a comment on this was the Khan chairman in Borno State. Yeah.
That statement has been refuted.
That statement, well, that's.
But it was there in the public space so strong.
Let me tell you something.
Yes.
That's the strategy of APC.
Yeah.
That's because you appointed a man, and then once the announcement went on, they brought out the statement. It was a statement he made in 2015. When the man was contesting for second term in office, because his tenure ended in 2019.
And it became relevant today.
Yes, so that he has sponsored more Christians on pilgrimage than any other person. They brought it out. What the APC propagandists have done again was to bring out a picture of the Catholic Bishops' Conference, who went to Maiduguri in 2017, when the Maiduguri Catholic Diocese was celebrating 50 years, and they had picture with the incumbent governor, this man, Nashetima, and then they congratulated him. They have now resurrected that picture as if
it's just a recent event.
as if they went to congratulate him. That's anything they do, we are part of the church. We'll be able to puncture them. Since they have decided to say Christians are not relevant, let Christians, let them have their strategy. There are people even in this state. It will take a Bola Tinubu presidency for them to become more relevant politically. Like that all over the world, all over the country. So they will do everything to ensure that he wins.
Okay.
Christians should not dissipate their energy. We have other options. Go for those options. If you want to be articulated, go and become articulated. If you want to be obedient, become obedient. We have the options. So let's not fight ourselves. The options are there. Those who, because somebody said, let me close with this.
Yeah.
You don't have to be articulated to be blessed. All you need is to be obedient to avoid tribulation.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Sagi, I mean, this resonates with you, absolutely. But how does this talk about revolution factor this whole conversation along the lines of Muslim ticket? How does it factor in?
Let me quickly say that, there's a popular adage that says, who the gods wants to kill, first of all, made mad, insane. For me, like I've said in previous telecasts on this platform, that the APC government seems to have lost touch with the people. They have lost touch with reality. They have lost touch with our present happenings, with the present reality of
these are your subjective opinions.
Yes, these are it. But, record shows that when you live in a nation that is secular and multi-ethnic, you have to play with all sensitivity. Granted, they have the right to take whatever decision they want to take. But the reason why I had to start from that point is because in this administration, we have never been more divided religious-wise in the history of this nation than now. I mean, it's sad to say, but it's our reality. You go to the shopping mall, you see, I was in Abuja during the Ide Cafe, you see a lot of other people from the other faith, which ordinarily, as a young man, when I was much younger growing up, it wasn't really a big deal. It was like, this was just having fun. But now you go in and you see people covering themselves, you are afraid, and you're thinking funny. Now, for such, what the APC have done is to create more division religiously, for the local or the ordinary Nigerians, so to speak. Because whether you like it or not, these have become a debate. Not everybody have the wisdom, the intelligence, and the robust analysis, like Reverend Phil or Honorable Yakubu, to be able to say this is no longer an issue. For the average Nigerians, I can tell you how they are thinking now. It's like it's a religious war. What I did is, we are going to toe this line. Let's see who has the number. For me, that's quite sad. Because this goes beyond just picking a candidate Muslim. It's about the message you are sending down the pipeline. The indirect message is, oh, maybe this set of religions are more than the other set of people. You know, it has been alleged that, you know, the presidential flag bearer of APC have said such statements. You know, they are more than these people. So if you get their vote, we are covered. You know, that's sad. And it's also sad because the person in question have the credibility question. I think Reverend Phil have gone into history. In March 2025, you know, 2015, sorry, March 2015, it was everywhere. When the federal government, through FFK, Fani Kayode, came up and raised allegation against Shettima and asked him some basic questions. What happened? Do you know that before the Chibok girls were taken captive, there was a red light? The federal government and the WAEC board had already told the governor that it was not safe for that election, so that exam, to be conducted. But should the government decide to go ahead, they should ensure that there is enough security. Now, these are some of the allergies that FFK brought up at that time. Now, nothing was known about that. Suddenly, we had an old man at the gate. There was no security, if we were to go by the records. Then suddenly, these guests were taken. Do you also remember how Shettima came to become the governorship flag bearer for the APC? He wasn't the winner then. It was, I think it was one Gu or something. He wasn't the one that won. The person that actually won the primary was assassinated. Then he was the second runner-up. Then he now came up as the flag bearer. Now, what I mean is, these are credibility questions
that need to be asked.
That need to be asked.
Okay.
Then you still went in the midst of it and pick somebody that have a character and credibility question to be your flag bearer. Is sad.
Okay.
But like Reverend Phil has said, we know what to do. We are Christians. We are not fools. We have observed the terrain of this nation. To have another Muslim, in fact, is worse than a death sentence.
All right, John. When these the APC picked a placeholder running mate who was also a Muslim, there was no reaction. Why? The reaction now, after the presidential running mate was announced, the placeholder was a Muslim, and it was clear at that point the direction it was going. Why wasn't there this sort of reaction that was seen today?
Sonny, like I said at the beginning of this part of this discussion, that John Ehiwatowa Yakubu might not be in the proper place or position to answer some of these questions from APC or for voters. Because as a PDP, as a very strong member of the People Democratic Party, I really don't believe we have any contest going on now as of today with the APC having what they've had. Because like he said, they strongly believe that it is advantageous to them having to place a Muslim ticket because they believe that Christians don't have the number. So that is left for the Christians and other persons who believe in making sure that we have a unified country to begin to think of what to do. So when you talk about placeholder, don't forget, like I said just now, the APC is very, very, very sensitive and they really don't even know what Nigerians are passing through. For the first time, what do you mean or what do you take of a placeholder? Just because they realize that there is a lacuna or a kind of a loophole in the law that provide the space for the VP, they said, okay, we can, now that we're not able to decide the person that we're going to take for now, let's put a placeholder. That was why a lot of persons did not react. Even Tinubu himself said, look, we just place this man there, believing that so that we can buy time. So when you're talking about people not reacting because there was a placeholder who was a Muslim ticket, that is not the issue. Our issue is this. We're going to begin to appeal to Nigerians. We're going to begin to look at how people will be articulated to be able to make sure that we rescue. We are on a rescue mission. I continue to tell people, like you hear people talking about movement. Yes, I appreciate that there is a movement. I appreciate the fact that a lot of young men have registered and they want to vote. And I want to appeal to them. In a developed political system, a developed client, what you have is today, the Democrats are not doing well in the United States. the Republicans will come aboard. That is the beauty of democracy. Yes, a lot of mistakes would have been made before 2015. Yes, Nigerians believe that PDP was not doing well or they didn't do well. But you have seen the past 8 years. You cannot compare and contrast and look at it. Where we were in 2015, where you can comfortably exchange a dollar for 180 naira. Now that you have to exchange that same dollar for 650, are we better? That is the question we want to ask. I want to appeal to you and to the media. We want to begin to interrogate the APC as to how they destroyed this nation, as to how we can take it over from them and improve on it. It is now left for Nigerians to say, yes, while we were with PDP, our husband as at that time, this was what we had. Now that we have married a different woman, and this is where we are, do we go back to our former wife? That's what we're saying. And we're going to begin to tell them why we think they should come back to us. For me, they should come back to us because what we have, the presidential candidate we have, before now was part of the economic team that placed us on the pedestal that at in 2015, Nigeria was on autopilot economically. That's why Adesina today, who is the president of the
African Development
Bank, was part of that team. Nkosi Iweala was part of that team. That is the team that took Nigeria from where we were without telephone, without electricity, to a place where Nigeria was on autopilot, on moving smoothly and how we can develop the economy. They came and hijacked it and took it from us and said, look, you are no better off with 87. We'll be better off. I remember they were saying 44 naira. And who will not believe that? You go to a place to begin to talk to people, look, Sonny Duke is selling this car for 500 naira. I can give it to you for 200 naira. Who will not take that? Now that you have taken the same car and you have discovered that you were deceived, what prevents you from moving from that same point now to another point? That is the gospel that PDP preaches.
Okay.
And I want to appeal to you. I know you are not a politician. You are here in ITV.
Yeah.
Please be articulated so that you can move this.
All right. Is that what we need now, Phil Aroche, against the background of some of the realities of the past and the realities of today? I mean, I hear people say we need to have a complete, comprehensive, robust break from the past and look for a paradigm shift to change the narratives of Nigeria.
Thank you very much. The presidential candidates need to come on board and tell us what they are going to do differently. Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu has said that he's going to continue with where President Buhari left us.
Did he tell you that personally?
No, that's what he
Did he tell you that personally?
No, that's what
all right, that's the question, John.
He's in the public. Yes, that's the public.
He wants to continue where Phil. Yeah.
He wants to come and continue from where the incumbent president has stopped.
Yes.
I don't want to continue on that trajectory.
Okay.
I don't want to.
Okay.
With the number of Christians that have been killed, does Nigeria still want another Muslim, another Fulani man, like Atiku, at his age? What is he going to do differently? We need to know.
Has he spoken out?
He has to tell us. He has to tell us. What is he going to do differently? What is he going to do differently? Where Honorable Yakubu is from, there's a landlock now. You cannot go to Urumi easily. Neither from Agbo, or from Awuchi, or from Benin.
Yeah.
They have just been locked up.
Yeah.
I know a senior man there who has a business. He cannot move his product out of Urumi as of today. Yeah. What are they going to do differently? Will my brother, Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, the governor of Delta State, I have known Okowa since in the 80s. Okowa was a tenant in my father's house. I say this publicly. At Igbanke, when he was working as a young medical doctor at Igbanke General Hospital. That's where he worked for us when he left the medical school. He was a tenant in our house there. What is he going to do differently? The obedient team, Obi, has been saying what he's going to do. Moving from consumption to production. Yeah. He has been giving analysis. Because we have married 2 wives. there's a third one that is trying. Yes, you are married to. There's a third one that is coming.
Let's try
He's
this
not
one.
telling us, look, I can do this.
That's a place for polygamy, right?
Nigerians have been raped. So there's a third one coming. Why should we not try that third one? Why should we go back to PDP that was there for 16 years? Yes, whatever PDP did was far better, 1 million times better. Life was better for us under PDP. Things were better for this nation.
Thank you
Nigeria,
for that.
no, that's the truth. Nigeria was more respected across the country under PDP. You can't compare PDP 16 years and APC 7.5 years. There's no basis for comparison. There's no
But
basis.
PDP stayed more compared to
No,
APC.
no, but
Is that, I mean, that's what we did about. The PDP stayed for 16 years, APC just 7.5 years.
They did not
Yes.
destroy.
In 7 years or in 4
They
years.
didn't destroy before they started building. That's the reality.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's the truth. Why should I not trust PDP again? Don't you think I should try the one I have not tested? That's why there's the obedient revolution.
Yeah.
That's the truth. So it is left for the Turaki Adamawa to convince us that at 70-something, Okowa at his early 60s, that they have something better than what will be at 61. I think Obi's birthday should be in 3 days' time on the 19th at 61, and that year at 46 we offer Nigerians. Because we have tested the two. I don't think that Nigerians want to gamble again.
All right, Pastor Gustin, you've been itching
There are
on
lots
this,
of people
on this issue. So let's.
Have you seen the tweet? No, there are a lot of PDP who are obedient.
Honorable may even be obedient, but I cannot say it on
Secret
air.
disciples. You see,
yes.
you see, Nigeria is not just becoming so tough; it's becoming very choking. And when somebody said, or there's an adage that says, a goat does not bite, but when you push the goat to the wall, you will see his teeth. That's where we are in our current narrative. What Nigerians want now is a fresh air from whether you call it PDP or APC. I think Reverend have said it. PDP was far better. There's no doubt about that. But have you watched the current trend of events? Have you noticed that even the so-called Obi has an history? Nobody is expecting Obi to come on board and do magic, because this nation has been so destroyed under the APC-led government. But if you look at the history of Obi, you will know that this is a man that has a vision, that has a focus, that has a project, that knows exactly what to do. And also take a look at his running mates. Now, these are not just people that are lost in their certificates. These are people that still know where their certificates are. That can't find their certificates. These people still know where their certificates are, showing that, number one, they have value for education. Because no matter how I go, I can't lose my certificate. Even if I lost it, I'll go back to the school and make sure I get something back to compensate for it.
Yeah.
Now, the point is that, have you noticed that Nigerians are voluntarily giving their properties? Just Reverend Matthew Okpebholo just gave a massive, gigantic building as a campaign, structure office for the Obi.
Yeah.
Now, it is not just about Obi. This is about Nigerians. This is about Nigerians. It is sad to say the PDP lost the opportunity when they had Nigerians and their groups. Like Reverend have said, they have to now come on board and tell us exactly what they want to do. But Obi, ever before he came on board, he has been saying it everywhere. He has told you how he's going to go, how he's going to train Nigeria from consuming to become a production economy. He has told you his plan for the medicals, his plan for education, and I think Nigerians need a fresh blood. We need a fresh air. We need to be able to try something else, because for we are tired of this gambling from APC to PDP, APC to PDP. We need something to also be able to know whether this country is cursed or we are blessed.
Okay, let's open
I think that's where we are. That's where we are.
The number you can reach us on the program is 070-8365-4889. You can dial that number right now and be part of the conversations on Politics Today on independent television and radio. 070-8365-4889. Hello, caller. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from. Good morning.
Hello, Hello, good morning, Mr. Sonny.
Yes, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Please turn down the audio level on your television or radio.
It's radio.
Okay, turn it down to remove the echo.
Okay. Is it better now?
It's still on the high side. Just move backward. Move backward. Okay. Yes, please go ahead. Oh, that would have been nice. Our first caller being a lady. I mean, they had the call. Yeah, okay. Yeah, go ahead, please.
I'm Madam Hope. I'm calling from somewhere in the outskirts of the state.
Okay. Does it have a name?
It's Adebayo Camp. That's where I work.
Okay. All right. Please go ahead.
Yes. We always say that Nigeria is one. But from what is playing out in APC, I don't think. For someone to come out from the north and say that a ticket that has a Christian Muslim representing the north, I mean, a northern Christian representing the north, that they will not accept it, that shows that Nigeria is not one. That is an attempt for APC to bring a southern Muslim and a northern Muslim to run for them. Does that not mean an attempt to decimate Christianity in Nigeria? So just like the Reverend there says, we have other options to go for.
Okay.
So it's time for the Christians in Nigeria to wake up. That is my submission.
Thank you very much, our first caller today, for the views expressed. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. 07083654889 is our studio line. Dial it now and be part of the program. Good morning, caller. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Good morning. Please turn down the audio level. Turn it down. Turn down the audio level on your TV or radio to remove the echo. Good morning.
I've turned it off already.
All right, please go ahead. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My own option is that everybody should be obedient. That's simple as that. Because at the point where the country is now, like the man said already, we are in fact 100 years backward. So please, everybody should be obedient. That's my own option. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your views. 07083654889. That's our studio number. Dial it right now and be part of the conversation on politics today. Good morning, caller. What's your name? Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from? 07083654889. Good morning, caller. What's your name? Hello, caller. What's your name? And tell us your name quickly. Your name and your location, please. Good morning. 07083654889. That's our studio number. Hello, caller. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello.
Yes, good morning. Where are you calling us from?
Good morning. This is Dustin calling from Local Road.
Okay, please go ahead, Austin.
Yeah, I think to me, I'm not so bothered with Muslim or Christian system. But one thing I want to say is that the Christian body that are now trying today around saying all sorts of things today. If you look, even when PAB choose one of their own as a vice president, they didn't vote. They vote for Bishop Atiku. So there are many options. If APC choose to feed Muslim, it is left for them. So let them also go and vote for whoever they want to vote for, instead of fitting up the polity with religion and whatsoever. They are so. It is the Christians that are so divided us. Because sometimes when you look at what they are preaching for the people, you care for yourself. So they shouldn't blame any other person. They should blame themselves. It's my take. Thank you and good morning from here.
All right, thank you. 07083654888 is the number to call. Tell us your name and where you're calling from, then go ahead with your conversation. Good morning. Please turn down the audio level on your TV set. Turn it down. Please always endeavor to turn down the audio level on your TV or radio to remove the echo so we can have a very meaningful conversation. Good morning, caller. What's your name? Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, you need to speak up a little bit. We can barely hear you. Good morning. Go ahead, please.
This is Tusa. I'm calling from Edo State.
All right, yes, please go ahead.
I'm a member of PDP. Okay. I said I'm a member of PDP.
Well, listening to you. Go ahead. You have the floor, please. Go ahead.
Hello.
Well, it looks like you can't hear us. So let's just ask you to call back again. Just call back and let's have you on the program. Hello, caller. Good morning. What's your name?
Yes, good morning. This is Samson Hussaini.
Okay, please go ahead.
The truth is, it is time that we Nigerians look past religion, look past sentiments, and choose a credible leader that is fit and qualified to take Nigeria to the next level. And if you listen to all the campaign promises from all the presidential aspirants, you will discover that many of them don't have anything to offer. They don't even have a plan. The only person that I see there is Peter Obi. He is the only one with any credible thing to say. He is the one with a plan. And if you listen to him, you know that he knows what he wants to do. His plan is straight and focused. So I think it is time we give change, a chance. Let's be obedient.
Oh, thank you. That's able to take some of the statistics now. You can actually have an insight into where all of this is taking us to. But it's okay. Some of these things, election in Nigeria is beyond that, interestingly. Good morning, caller. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good morning. I'm Endurance calling from Opasiluku.
Okay, Endurance, go ahead.
The matter of Muslim ticket or Christian something, you see, we Nigerians, we need somebody that will take us out of this doom that these politicians have been putting us. They all have promises. They have been promising us, but they have been failing. See, we saying Peter Obi is the best, or what should I call it? Tinubu is the best. We don't know yet, because all of them, they have been giving us fake promises. We need somebody that will take us to the next level in this country, that will liberate this country from this economic problem. Please, let's stop talking about this Muslim ticket or whatever. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Our last caller will be coming up shortly because our time is up on the show. Caller, good morning. You are last caller for today.
All right,
please go ahead.
Yes, the study is going on now. The issue of Khan. Is there a Muslim person from the issue of Khan, from Northerners? It's all Satan, the issue of Khan. Do you see Northerners fighting against it? All the head of Khan are from the south. Have you ever seen Northerners criticizing it? Let's look for the great candidate. Forget the, if I want to look for a job in IT branch, I think will not be looking for myself, not my capacity. Thank you, Mr. Tolichuk.
All right, thank you. Well, that's the most we can take on this segment. But let's quickly conclude our conversation. Now, maybe Phil will just tee us off on that quickly. Final take on our conversation.
Yes, one of the immediate past chairman of CAN National is Bishop Naika. He's a northerner from Kogi State. He was the one that handed over to Papayo Risejefo, who now handed over to the incumbent CAN chairman.
So what he said?
No, it's not correct.
Okay.
That the northerner has not become chairman of CAN.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
So let me get your final take.
Well, let me quickly say here that democracy is not about. It's about making choices. Now, like I said at the beginning of this program, every developed democracy, you have two dominant parties. If you are not comfortable with PDP, you change to you vote for APC. In 4 years, in the United States, who was the last president?
Donald Trump. He didn't do term.
He did second term.
When the Americans discovered or felt that they were no longer comfortable with him, they voted Democrat. So this issue of saying the two of them, yes. Let me say this. Politicians are the most fearful set of people in the world. All they want is reaction from the people. The only problem we have is that even when they are not doing well, you begin to see praises of them. Most politicians are not doing well and you are reacting appropriately. Honestly, immediately they will change.
They will comply.
They will comply. So let the people begin to put pressure on politicians. Let the people begin to ask the right question. Okay. Let the people begin to demand what is due for them. And don't begin to look for crumbs that will fall from the table.
All right,
yes, my final take is to our viewers out there. See, we are not going to initiate this change by just ventilating our anger or talking. If you don't have your PVC, you are worse than the same politician you are criticizing. You are not innocent. It means that you don't have the moral right under God and human to complain. So I encourage every one of us to get our PVC.
So get your PVC and initiate the change. That's a parting word. But caller, you're pretty lucky to be part of the show. Quickly, let's get your take. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yes, my name is Samuel. My name is Samuel Ebode.
Okay, where are you calling us from? And go ahead. Go ahead.
I just want to say something about what you are discussing. I'm seeing you, how you see every one of you there. About that of Tinubu and Atiku. Let them just come out for this election. Because Atiku himself, he was dealing with our head of state, that is Obasanjo. And that one said he's coming to power now. And the other man, he said he is taking another person as a Muslim. And this is not a Muslim country. And one thing that the Christians have to stand by and know what to do for this election. Everybody has to have their own PVC.
Okay, so that's your final take on the program today. Our last call. I just want to thank you for being a part of it. Let me appreciate our panelists here, John Yakubu,
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure,
and to all our viewers and listeners, we appreciate you for making the show a huge success. We'll be here again next week, Saturday. A whole lot will be up then, as usual, to talk about. My name is Sonny Duke Okosun, wishing you a good weekend.